People have been making statues for thousands of years, if not tens of thousands. The age of the Sphinx is even debated. Some people think it's over 10,000 years old because of evidence of water erosion at its base. The Terracotta Warriors, built for China's first emperor, Qin Shi Huang, were made over 2,200 years ago, and there's over 8,000 of them. They were individually hand-painted with eyeballs and decorative buttons and fingernails, but whenever the tombs were opened up, they were exposed to the elements and the paint all withered away from oxygen oxidization. So I wonder if the Sphinx was ever painted. It turns out the Sphinx was painted at one time, and it looked like something you would find on deviantart.com. Some people think the Sphinx used to actually be of the Anubis, which is like a coyote or a dog or something from Egypt. Looks like one of those Mexican hairless dogs, if you ask me. But clearly the body of the Sphinx was carved to be a lion. The Sphinx was a symbol of a protector. It was a symbol of the pharaoh's power. I imagine the Egyptians slept better at night thinking it was protecting them from evil spirits in the afterlife in their kingdom and so forth, guarding the Nile, so many reasons. So we've covered the military type use of statues. We've covered the spiritual type use of statues. Now it's time for the fun part. The Romans used to make statues for pleasure, okay? These were statues that were the equivalent of modern day pornography, but in chisel form. I have been to an exhibit with an adults only section that had an incredible amount of olive oil burning lamps that were made as phallic images. Yes, or people penetrating each other, etc. I'm going to see if I can find some of them and put them here. I've also got a personal collection of images that I took of an exhibit of Roman erotic statues and pottery. I'm going to share those. I've also been to a Pompeii exhibit. I'll put those up. But what I mainly want to get across is that statues are powerful. Use them for your advantage. Bring statues around your men. Let them use them in war, let them use them spiritually, and let them use them for pleasure, man. People haven't changed for thousands of years. Statues are just as important now as they were 10,000 years ago. Artists nowadays make the same art, but just in a different medium. They use a screen instead of a chisel. I'm about to show you something you would see on DeviantArt or Fur Affinity or Rule34.com up next. Here you go. It's a man making love to a goat. Maybe it's Lucifer. Let me double check. So it turns out it's a half Greek, half Roman, half god, half man guy who goes by the name Pan. And the goat is just a random goat. You know, could be any goat. But they don't even know what the statue's about. They're like, yeah, it's highly debated. We don't even know why someone made this. Probably lead in the drinking water pipes, if you ask me. I'd like to point out that the only reason we can appreciate the erotic art of Pompeii is because Mount Vesuvius erupted and preserved all of the art and its owners in fire and ash. Because of that act of God or the universe, or so whatever you'd like to call it, we get to appreciate what they appreciated, and we now know that they were just like us.